Greetings, this is Tim Johnson here from Recovery, Strength, Hope and Courage. Today's video is going to be sort of entitled Never Too Late to Change, because I've been reflecting a bit over the last week. It was my birthday last week and I was 57, and I was lucky enough to have my family here, as I told you in my last video, for that. But it's given me a sort of a week to reflect, 57, and on my life. And for those of you who don't know, and I've been addicted to alcohol all my life, really, from my early 20s up to five months ago. And in my early 20s, I was addicted to cocaine, and in my mid 20s onwards, I was addicted to opiates. And those opiates, without going into all the details and everything, but basically, though, that led on from sort of codeine to the equivalent of sort of your hydrocodone, heroin, morphine over the years. I went into residential rehab for 3 months. I was under the care of psychiatrists. This is all over a period of years. I was on Suboxone for 2 years. And sort of nothing worked, basically. I relapsed and I relapsed and I relapsed. And lost everything, basically. Lost the love, and I say love, not really the love. I've been very, very lucky in that my wife and daughters although sort of must have wanted to give up on me so many times, are still here for me now, although me and my wife are separated and live apart. Basically, I had a great life and I lost it all. I lost all my money, all the beautiful jewellery, a lot of which my wife had bought me as presents, got sold. I lost, like I say, the love and respect of friends, my children, etc., etc. It was just a disaster. My whole life, really. And the reason I've sort of reflected now and is that obviously Nick made that video the other day, Nick M, and had relapsed again and was going into a residential Salvation Army residential rehab for the next 12 months. And really good luck to you, Nick, because you deserve it. But it made me think, because I've been talking to a lot of people over the last months that I've been clean. I'm now 8 months clean of all drugs and 5 months nearly clean of alcohol, which was a massive issue for me, the alcohol, as I told you in my last video, as well as the drugs. But it's not easy, and I was reflecting on this about Nick. It's not easy. I give advice, find your rock bottom and find something that will drag you forwards into recovery. Like I focus on my wife and my daughters, but it isn't easy, is it? It's not easy. And Nick sort of brought that home to me, really, as a young man who, very attractive young man, very intelligent young man, strong, but he's not yet found what it takes to drag him out of this hell of addiction and make the choice not to put the drug in his mouth, and I was thinking, what will it take, and for me, as I say, I decided to take the power away this time from the alcohol and the drugs, and because I was seriously abusing tramadol over here, 30 tablets up to 30 tablets a day, and alcohol till, I just can't tell you how much alcohol, probably a couple of bottles of vodka a day, every day. If I couldn't afford vodka, it'd be cheap wine. So I was in a mess, so 57, the message I'm trying to get across to all of you now is that don't wait till you're 57. Muhammad Ali said something very, very wise. If you still see the world the same in your 50s as you did in your 20s, then you've wasted 30 years of your life. Well, that's really true. I mean, the point is, I feel sometimes that although I've lived a very full life, a very lucky life, because I've always, through all these addictions, I've managed to keep, fairly good jobs, mostly because of the help of my wife, to be honest with you, and support of my wife, who worked with me alongside me. and carried me, I suppose, a lot of the way. But I've never been afraid of hard work. So, I always worked hard, always managed to make money, and then piss it up against the wall, lose it, obviously, along the way. Um, so one of the message is, don't wait that 30 years, because you can't live regret. You can't look back and regret, because a lot of things in my life I don't regret. I mean, there's a lot of beautiful stuff in my life, like the birth of my children. We had some amazing jobs together, me and my wife. But right through all those years, it could have been so much more, could have achieved so much more, could still be living together in harmony. Although now our relationship is rebuilding itself slowly, which is fantastic, and the same with my children. I couldn't wish for better, a wife and children, and that's my focus, and that's what keeps me motivated is the wrong word, but it strengthens my recovery, that love, and that want to see them. I want to live to see them married. I want to live to see my grandchildren if they have them, etc. And I want to spend some time with my wife when she finally decides to retire and move over here. And enjoy that time healthy and clean. You know. So those 30 years, what I'm saying the message I'm trying to get across here very badly and stumbly is basically you've got to find that something within yourself. You've got to find that something that now, if that something for you is AA and religion and the spiritual side, that is brilliant, and I respect you and I respect that. But it's got to be something that is so strong that it's got to make you really want it, because unless you want this, forget it. Unless you really, really want it, you can play around at wanting it and convince yourself and say, "Oh, I'm going to get clean." But you'll probably say that when you're high or you've got drugs or alcohol inside you. And as soon as you start to sober up, the resolve will dissolve, if you like. That's a good one, isn't it? Resolve will dissolve. And it'll go. So all I can tell you is that it is so worth it. And I bang on about this, but my life has changed. And as I say, reflecting at 57, in the last 8 months, my life has changed irrevocably. I mean, it's I can't explain. I walk around with my head facing the ground, not seeing things. I posted a video on the sunrise the other day. Seize the day, because you should seize the day and the beauty of the sunrise. I never saw those things. Never saw the sunrise to start with because I was always unconscious. Never, I met some new friends the other day in the gym. I go to the gym 2 or 3 times a week, and met them in the gym. Some lovely people, been over here 12 years. Well, I wouldn't have even been in the gym before, and B, I certainly, if I'd have met them anywhere, I wouldn't have spoken to them because I'd be so selfish and in my own little world, staring at the floor, and in drunk or whatever, or drugged up to my eyeballs, not able to communicate. What sort of life is that? Now, some of you are on Suboxone and have got to make that jump. I mean, for you now, it's not even about being high, is it? It's about maintaining your life at the moment on Suboxone, and the fear of withdrawal, and the fear of living life without what you think is that crutch, of the Suboxone and whatever. Now, it's not easy, and I'm not being blasé about this at all. It's not easy, and it's a massive. And I spoke to someone the other day online that what, and she was saying, she knows she wants this, but she can't find it, and when there's something to push herself towards it, if you like, such as me wanting to live for my family and wanting to regain my self-respect and pride, and live life however long it is, because we could be dead tomorrow, couldn't we? I'm 57 now. Some people say, well, what's the point you stop? Well, the point of stopping is so however many years I've got, and each day is a bonus for me now. I smile and I look at the sunshine. I feel and smell and taste and communicate, and I'm attracting positivity. Waylon, God bless you, Waylon. It's fantastic to see you back, man. By the way, made a brilliant video just saw today about positivity and not being sucked into other people's negativity, and ignore small things and small comments, and it's really true. Because life is brilliant, and when you're positive, when you go around with a smile on your face, And when you are a positive person, you attract more positivity and you attract good luck into your life. It's a fact of life. It's the universe as it goes round. You attract it, and that's what happens. I'm not saying life's a bed of roses in recovery or when you're sober, because it isn't. Life is life, isn't it? And it's hard, very hard a lot of the time. But life is a fuck sight better sober than it is in addiction. So all I'm saying to you, people on Suboxone, for instance, and looking for that push, think, do you want your children to see you as they grow up having to rely on a pill to keep you straight? Or do you want to be clean in your mind and clear in your mind and away from it? Addiction is hard. It's a graft. It's your life will be so much better without it. And I'm not saying it's easy. As again, Ali said, I've got a couple of quotes written down here again. I keep glancing down it, but Ali said every minute of his training he hated. It hurt, but he said to himself, "Don't give up. Suffer now and live the rest of your life as a champion." And that's true to a certain extent, because withdrawal, it is hard. Withdrawal is you are going to suffer a bit in withdrawal and whatever. But if you taper slowly, for Suboxone, for instance, taper slowly, you can get over that. Look at Brian Fridman's videos on really good advice about coming off Suboxone. Once you're there, it's you've got to work at it. Yes, you have got to work at it. You've got to change your diet, your lifestyle. You've got to reprogram your brain, get rid of all that negativity and shit out your brain, and life becomes great again. And I implore you to give it a go. Implore you to give it a go. And I'm going to read you a couple of quotes now before I go. These are great, and one's from Ralph Waldo Emerson. And I want you to, think about these if you can, because I try not to come on here and I try not to preach, and I'm not perfect. I didn't have the courage or the strength or the hope, because this is a journey of hope, don't forget. Coming into recovery, it's all about hope. If you've got no hope, you won't even attempt to go into recovery. You've got to want to live. You've got to want to see your family grow. You've got to want to breathe and love the world again, and love yourself again, because a lot of it's about self-hate, and you've got to learn to love yourself again. So what I'm saying is, just have a sort of digest these. These aren't sort of preachy little things, just things to think about, because sometimes you need to dwell on things before you make a monumental decision to make, Ralph Waldo Emerson said, the only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be. It is your choice. It's your choice with all this, isn't it? Taking drugs, drinking alcohol, don't put it in your mouth. Then you've got no problem, haven't you? It's easier said than done, of course it is, and I'm not saying it isn't. It's hard, tough, but so worth it in the end. Like I say, it's up to you. You decide. It's your choice. And another one here is, recovery is not for people who need it. It's for people who want it. And yeah, you've got to want it. You've got to want it with all your heart, all your being. You've got to want it for your family. You've got to want it for your friends. You've got to want it for your own dignity, your own self-respect. What can I say? That's it. And then before you can break out of prison, you must realise that you are locked up. Because you are locked up, whether you're on Suboxone, whether you're drinking alcohol, whether you're taking your pills, you're in a prison. You're locked up. And you need to escape from it. And it's hard to escape sometimes. And then you can only do your best, can't you? You can only do your best, because what else is there? So, it's a bit preachy, it's a bit rambly, this one. And I just wanted to get the message across to you all, not to leave it too late, to learn from me that it is never too late to live life, to love life, to regain your friends, to regain your family, to regain your dignity and regain your self-respect. So until next time, carpe diem, don't forget, seize the day, and I love you all. Stay strong and hold on. Bye-bye.